Book of Leviticus, Chapter 25, from the Sunday School Bible, 1445 BC. Copyright, the Sunday School Bible, LLC, 2025. All rights reserved. The land keeps a Sabbath. The Lord, Yahweh, said to Moses on Mount Sinai, "Speak to the children of Israel, Jacob, and say to them, when you come into the land which I give you, the land will keep a Sabbath to the Lord, Yahweh. For 6 years you will sow your field, prune your vineyards, and gather the fruit thereof. But the 7th year will be a Sabbath of rest to the land, a Sabbath for the Lord, Yahweh. You will not sow your field or prune your vineyards. That which grows of its own accord, of your harvest, you will not reap or gather the grapes of your vine undressed, because it is a year of rest to the land. The Sabbath of the land will be food for you, your servant, your maid, your hired servant, your stranger who resides with you, your cattle, and the animals that are in your land. All the increase of your land will be food for them. Every 50 years is a year of Jubilee." The Lord, Yahweh, continued speaking to Moses. "You will number 7 Sabbaths of years to your land, 7 times 7 years. The total years of the 7 Sabbaths of years will be to you 49 years. Then, on the 10th day of the 7th month, on the Day of Atonement, you will cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound throughout all your land. You will set apart as holy the 50th year, and proclaim liberty throughout all the land to all the inhabitants thereof. It will be a jubilee for you. You will return every person's possessions. You will return every person to their family. The 50th year will be a jubilee for you. You will not sow, reap that which grows of itself in the land, or gather the grapes on it from your unpruned vines, because it is the jubilee. It will be holy to you. You will eat out of the field whatever the land produces on its own. In the year of Jubilee, you will return every person's possessions. If you sell something to your neighbor, or buy anything from your neighbor's hand, you will not oppress one another. The buyer will pay an amount from the seller based on the number of years after the last Jubilee. The seller will set the purchase price based on the number of years left until the next Jubilee. Note, Leviticus chapter 25, verse 15 is clearer when considering the year of Jubilee, which occurs every 50th year. During the year of Jubilee, land that was sold returns to its original family. Therefore, any sale of land between Jubilees isn't permanent ownership, but a lease for the remaining harvest until the next Jubilee. Consequently, the phrase, "according to the number of years after the Jubilee, you shall buy," means that when you purchase land, you are really paying for the number of harvests left until the next Jubilee. Similarly, the phrase, "according to the number of crop years he shall sell to you," indicates that the seller determines the price based on how many harvests you can expect before the land reverts back to the original family. For example, if Jubilee is 20 years away, buying your neighbor's land now means paying for 20 harvests. If Jubilee is only 5 years away, the price is significantly lower because there are only 5 more harvests left. End of note. The Lord, Yahweh, continued speaking to Moses. Therefore, you will increase the purchase price according to the greater number of years until the next Jubilee. You will lower the purchase price according to the fewer number of years until the next Jubilee. This is because what your neighbor is selling you is the number of harvest years. Therefore, you will not oppress one another, but you will fear your God, because I am the Lord Yahweh, your God. The 7th year, the Lord Yahweh continued speaking to Moses. You will do my statutes, keep my judgments, and do them, so you will dwell in the land in safety. The land will yield her fruits, and you will eat your fill, and dwell therein in safety. If you say, what will we eat in the 7th year? Look, we cannot sow or gather in our harvest. Then I will command my blessing on you in the 6th year, and the land will bring forth a harvest for 3 years. You will sow the 8th year, and eat the old harvest until the 9th year. You will eat the old harvest until her new harvest comes in. The land. The Lord, Yahweh, continued speaking to Moses. The land will not be sold forever, because the land is mine, and because you are strangers and sojourners with me. In all the land of your possession, you will grant a redemption for the land. Note, the word redemption in Leviticus chapter 25, verse 24, means that if someone sells part of their family land, there must always be a way to redeem, buy back, or restore it, either by the seller, a relative, or automatically at the year of Jubilee. End of note. Poor people. The Lord, Yahweh, continued speaking to Moses. If one of your fellow Israelites becomes poor and has to sell a piece of their family land, then a close relative should try to buy back the land for them. If the person doesn't have a relative who can buy back the land, but the person later regains their financial stability and can afford to buy back the land themselves, they must calculate how many years have passed since they sold the land and repay the buyer for the remaining value. Then they can reclaim their land. But if the person cannot afford to buy back the land will remain with the buyer until the year of Jubilee. In the 50th year, the land must be returned to the original owner, so they can go back to their family property. House in a walled city. The Lord, Yahweh, continued speaking to Moses. If someone sells a house in a walled city, they have the right to buy back the house within a full year of the sale. If they don't buy back the house within that year, the house becomes the permanent property of the buyer and does not return to the original owner in the year of Jubilee. House in a village. The Lord, Yahweh, continued speaking to Moses. But the houses in villages that don't have walls around them are treated like farmland. The original owner can buy back the house at any time. Additionally, the house must be returned to the original owner in the year of Jubilee. Levite property. The Lord, Yahweh, continued speaking to Moses. Notwithstanding, the Levites may buy back at any time the houses they possess in the cities of their possession. If the Levite sells a house, it must be returned to them in the year of Jubilee, because their homes in these cities are part of their permanent inheritance. But the fields in the suburbs around the cities may not be sold, because that land is their perpetual possession. Helping the poor. The Lord, Yahweh, continued speaking to Moses. If one of your fellow Israelites becomes poor and cannot support themselves, then you will help them, whether they are a stranger or a sojourner, so they may live among you. You will not charge them interest or make a profit from them, but you will fear your God, so that your fellow Israelites may live among you. You will not give them your money at interest, or give them your food for profit. I am the Lord, Yahweh, your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt to give you the land of Canaan and to be your God. Treating servants with dignity. The Lord, Yahweh, continued speaking to Moses. If another Israelite becomes so poor that they sell themselves to you, you must not compel them to serve as a slave, but as a hired servant or a sojourner. They will serve you until the year of Jubilee. Then they and their children with them will return to their own family and to the possession of their fathers, because they are my servants, whom I brought out of the land of Egypt. They will not be sold as slaves. You will not rule over them harshly, but you will fear your God. Foreign slaves. The Lord, Yahweh, continued speaking to Moses. Both your male and female slaves, which you may have, will come from the heathen, from the surrounding nations. From these surrounding nations you may buy male servants and female servants. Moreover, you may buy the children of the strangers that sojourn among you. Of them you may buy, and of their families who are with you, which they gave birth to in your land. They may be your possession. You may take them as an inheritance for your children after you, to inherit them for a possession. They will be your slaves forever. But over your fellow Israelites you will not rule harshly over one another. Note, the King James Version uses the phrase, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall ye buy. In Leviticus chapter 25, verse 45, to clarify whether this means specifically purchasing only children of non-Israelites or people in general, we need to look at the Hebrew term used in the Masoretic text. The Hebrew word was bene, meaning sons or children, which refer to the offspring of the sojourners, their children, and does not specifically mean only children. It refers to members of the sojourner group, including their families born in the land, covering adults, children, and other household members. End of note. Buying freedom from slave owners. The Lord, Yahweh, continued speaking to Moses. If a sojourner or stranger among you becomes wealthy, and a fellow Israelite who lives among the sojourner or stranger becomes poor, then sells themselves to the stranger or sojourner, or to the stock of the stranger or sojourner's family, the Israelite may still be bought back. One of their relatives may buy them back, such as an uncle's son, or any close relative. If the individual is able, the individual may buy themselves back. Paying fair value for freedom. The Lord, Yahweh, continued speaking to Moses. The Israelite slave will negotiate the price of their freedom with the stranger or sojourner who bought them, based on the year the slave was purchased, to the year of Jubilee. The cost should reflect the time remaining, just like the wages of a hired worker. If many years remain until the year of Jubilee, they will refund a larger portion of the Israelites' initial purchase price for the redemption. If only a few years remain until the year of Jubilee, the calculation will be adjusted accordingly, and they will refund a smaller portion of the Israelites' initial purchase price for the redemption. Fair treatment while serving as a slave. The Lord, Yahweh, continued speaking to Moses. The Israelite must be treated like a hired worker or a temporary resident, and a foreigner must not rule over the Israelite harshly in the Israelite's presence. If the Israelite is not bought back through these means, the Israelite and the Israelite's children will go free in the year of Jubilee, because the Israelites are my servants, whom I brought out of Egypt. I am the Lord, Yahweh, your God.